Olympic champions compete. Scott Hamilton, Robin Cousins for the men. For the ladies, Dorothy Hamill, Rosalind Sumners, and more. $40,000 to the winners at the World Challenge of Champions on ABC's Wide World of Sports, Saturday.
Topping the news tonight, the death toll is 3 in the Colorado Avalanche. We'll talk to a Plymouth man who saw it. And we'll talk about ways to prevent AIDS in our special assignment reports.
We will hear what Russian language students are saying about the series America, and we'll tell you whether the Minnesota Zoo plans to expand its whale population. We'll have these stories and the Gopher down-to-the-wire game at Indiana next on The Update.
Kentucky Fried Chicken's gonna give you a square deal. The square deal. A whole lot of food for a real low price. Just $1.99. Square deal. Come in now and get 2 tender, juicy pieces of Kentucky Fried Chicken. But that's not all. Square deal. Our square deal also gives you hot mashed potatoes with gravy and a fresh buttermilk biscuit. Square deal. So come in now for our square deal. A whole lot of food for just $1.99. We do chicken right.
The next time you pick up some Pepsi, you might be in for a little surprise. The grand prize in Pepsi's Drive-Away Sweepstakes. A 1987 electronic fuel-injected V6 Oldsmobile Calais. Enter soon, or your chance to win will be gone.
Void where prohibited. No purchase necessary. See details at participating store. Offer expires April 24th, 1987.
I don't care how many kinds of bacon you've tried. I'll bet you've never tasted one as rich and smoky as this one. Hillshire Farm Country Smoked Bacon. It's no ordinary bacon. It even smells smoky because it's cured slow and country smoked in natural hardwoods. So go ahead. Try all the bacon you want. Just make sure you save room for the good stuff.
Hillshire Farm Bacon. Country smoked flavor no ordinary bacon can match.
Live from Minnesota's news channel, KSTP Channel 5. Stan Turner, Ruth Spencer, Dave Dahl, and Joe Schmidt bring you the Eyewitness News Update.
Good evening, everyone. They are still searching for one skier thought to be buried under tons of snow north of Breckenridge, Colorado.
The rescue teams have already found 3 bodies under the avalanche that spilled down the side of a mountain known as Peak 7. More than 250 mountaineers today used long poles to probe the snow at the 11,600-foot level. They found 2 more bodies today, skiers as yet unidentified but believed to be from New Zealand. The first victim found yesterday was today identified as a skier from New York State. They were caught while skiing in an area marked as dangerous by a snowslide that cut a half-mile swath down the slope. Rescue workers today carried radios in case of further slide activity. Now, a local man was among those who saw that slide and helped in the initial searching. And Ruth, tonight you talked with him.
Stan, the man's name is Jake Zebarth. He is 22 years old, and he told me from his home in Plymouth tonight that he feels very lucky to be alive. He had just skied the very same mountain run minutes before that avalanche happened.
The snow was so deep that the probes wouldn't even go.
Jake Zebarth told me tonight he was going up on the T-bar to ski that run again when he saw other skiers coming down from an even higher starting point. Then the avalanche began.
My feeling when we were first on the T-bar was we were watching the skiers come down and we were saying, God, wouldn't that be great to be up there? And the feeling went from being great to being up there to thinking, my God, people are getting killed. They have to be, because it was just a major amount of snow coming down.
Zebarth and his friends knew they were skiing where they weren't supposed to. They passed by signs warning of an avalanche area.
There were a lot of people out there and it seemed safe. It was like, can't happen to me feeling.
Zebarth helped in the rescue effort for 3.5 hours before having to stop to catch his plane back to Minnesota. He says he's come too close to death, and he'll never ski an out-of-bounds run again.
I would never go on it again. Never. I learned my lesson. I saw it. I saw people die. I could have been dead if I was there 5 minutes earlier. I would have been on that hill.
However, he did say he would go back to Breckenridge ski area again, though, as he said, he'd never go on that area again. Stan?
Director John Landis appeared to choke up with emotion on the witness stand as he described the crash of a helicopter that killed actor Vic Morrow and 2 Vietnamese children in 1982. That was during filming of Landis's segment of Twilight Zone, the movie. He's now being tried for manslaughter, and he claims the scene was safe and that he was, above all, concerned for the safety of his actors. Landis will take the stand once again tomorrow.
For the second time this week, firefighters battled a fire at the Cargill grain plant in Savage. Tonight's fire was started in the very same area as Monday night's blaze. Fire officials don't know the cause of either of those fires, but they do not believe it was arson. Firefighters were able to extinguish the blaze quickly and eliminate any chance of an explosion. No one was injured. Arson investigators are still trying to determine the cause of a fire in a North Minneapolis home this afternoon. Authorities believe gasoline in the basement may have started that blaze. No one was injured in this fire either. One man inside was able to escape the burning house.
NSP is asking the state's pollution control agency for permission to burn oil contaminated with PCBs. Burn it at its plant near Granite Falls. PCBs are potential cancer-causing chemicals banned by Congress in the late 70s. Jackie Renner reports here that at a meeting today, some residents who live near the plant urged the PCA to reject the plan.
Each year, NSP wants to burn up to 150,000 gallons of oil contaminated with PCBs at this plant. Right now, contaminated oil from equipment at the company's power plants is shipped out of state. A consultant hired by NSP says burning the chemicals would pose only a minimal health threat. But residents worry about a cumulative effect.
One plant over here, which is below the acceptable risk, and another one over there, which is also below the, and end up with 43 different sources of pollution, which are cancer-causing.
The PCA says the state health department is studying the combined effect of cancer-causing agents on the community. In 1982, NSP proposed burning contaminated oil at its Highbridge plant in St. Paul, but when the city threatened to sue, the company dropped the plan. Some residents charge NSP shopped around for a community that would offer less resistance.
There's a lot less political risk for Northern States Power in Granite Falls than there is in St. Paul. You've got a high-profile mayor, you've got a big city situation. Who do we have out here?
NSP denies such charges. The company says it could save $865,000 in shipping costs by burning the oil itself. And it maintains it chose the Granite Falls plant because it's underutilized.
The economics are telling us that we have to revitalize the plant and develop some projects for that plant to increase its hours of operation and make it more vital in our system.
While most of the people who attended this meeting objected to the burning proposal, it does have advocates.
It's got to be burnt somewhere. NSP is a good, reliable company. If somebody's going to burn it, they certainly can do it the right way.
The board of the PCA could decide next month whether to grant NSP a permit to begin burning the contaminated oil. For the Eyewitness News Update, I'm Jackie Renner.
Well, the Minnesota Zoo will not be adding any new beluga whales.
Yes, the zoo board has decided to postpone any decisions about expanding that popular whale exhibit. And Dave Andrews reports tonight they blame the delay on Governor Perpich's budget.
For the foreseeable future, at least, Bigmouth and Little Girl will remain the only two beluga whales at the Minnesota Zoo. Zoo officials were considering a $13 million expansion of the marine exhibit, including the capture later this year of 2 more belugas. But at their meeting today, the zoo's board of directors said the expansion is now just a long-range goal, not an immediate objective. That is because zoo officials are facing a financial challenge they say is much more important. Governor Perpich has proposed cutting state funding to the zoo by 16% next year and 37% in 1989. Board Chairman Leonard Snyder says he will do everything possible to see that those proposed cuts are restored by the legislature before the final budget is passed. The zoo's future as a leading facility in the country, he claims, may be at stake.
I believe that this would have a very negative effect on the zoo itself and could very well be an embarrassment to the state of Minnesota and to the people of the state of Minnesota.
The board says some major exhibits might have to be closed and as many as 42 employees laid off if the governor's budget proposal goes through. Board members are planning a major lobbying effort in the legislature to prevent that. But right now, there are no guarantees the lawmakers will want to provide any more money than the governor wants to. The zoo's board of directors has an ongoing plan to generate private contributions to help run this facility. But now, faced with the threat of losing a sizable portion of its state funding, money from the private sector will become all that much more important. At the Minnesota Zoo, I'm Dave Andrews for the Eyewitness News Update.
This week, our special assignment report has focused on the scope of the AIDS problem.
And next up on the update, Dr. Michael Breen talks about ways to prevent that killer disease. Stay tuned.
Only at your Greater Metropolitan Pontiac dealers. Cash back on GM's hottest-selling cars. Not just on a few models, but on Pontiac's entire lineup. Like our 1987 front-wheel drive Bonneville, one of Car and Driver magazine's 10 best cars in the world. Make your best deal and get up to $800 cash back. Plus, save up to $300 more on options. Total savings in $1,100. With our cash back offer, you can buy or lease a new Bonneville without using $1 of your own money. See your Greater Metropolitan Pontiac dealers now.
The President's Sale is filled with honest values like Dutch Boy paints from Menards. Dutch Boy Confident Flat and Semi-Gloss Latex Interior paints are on sale now. Both guaranteed for 6 years. Confident Flat Latex paint goes on smooth and easy and dries to a velvety flat finish. On sale now in pre-mixed colors, just $5.99 a gallon. That's Dutch Boy Confident Paints on sale now at Menards.
We're helping you build America's heartland at Menards.
I bought my TV at Best Buy because of the 125% lifetime price guarantee. No matter how long
I own my VCR, if I ever find it on sale for less, Best Buy will refund
the difference between the lower price and what I paid for my stereo, plus 25% of the difference.
It really gives me confidence in a major appliance purchase to know I got the lowest price in town from Best Buy. For life.
Lowest prices, guaranteed for life, at Best Buy Superstores.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Are you getting your money's worth when you dine out?
Not often.
Try the Embers 24 hours a day. Nowhere, even in the finest restaurants, will you find better food so reasonably priced.
That looks delicious.
And the Embers guarantees your complete satisfaction, or your meal will be cheerfully exchanged.
I like that.
Only the finest quality food at unbelievable prices, like our selection of dinners from $3.99.
Say, I'm hungry.
Isn't it time you remembered the Embers for lunch or dinner, day or night?
Scientists are talking about a possible breakthrough in Alzheimer's disease. Researchers have pinpointed a genetic defect responsible for a type of the disease known as familial Alzheimer's, which afflicts 10% of Alzheimer victims. They don't say it will lead to a cure, but it's the first cause found for any type of Alzheimer's disease.
All this week, we have tried to convince you that AIDS is moving closer and closer to all of our lives. All of which raises the question, what is being done to cure the illness, and what can we do to prevent it? Our medical reporter, Dr. Michael Breen, is here tonight with the final part of our special assignment series.
You know, Ruth, up to 4 million Americans are already infected with the AIDS virus. We know that during the next decade, most of those people will probably die as a result. That means 2 million Americans dead, and that's a minimum. That's if the disease stops spreading tomorrow. Now, there's no cure for the people already infected with AIDS, but there is a drug. It's called AZT, and it's the first effective treatment for AIDS.
AZT isn't a cure, but it can buy an AIDS victim about 6 months of extra life. This patient, we'll call him Jim, takes AZT 6 times a day.
It's given me hope, given me a lot of hope. There's a chance that, this disease can be arrested or at least taken off the burner for a while.
AZT is the first of many experimental drugs that will soon be tested at the University of Minnesota. As part of that testing, researchers in gloves and gowns are handling the AIDS virus itself. By working with the virus, researchers can measure whether the amount in a patient's body is going up or going down.
One could then measure the decrease in the amount of AIDS virus in the blood in a patient who was taking a new drug.
But while researchers will be testing many new drugs, they stress none is even close to a cure.
In all honesty, for the people who are now sick, we are simply buying time. We are simply trying to buy them time, hoping that better things come along.
The short-term outlook for a vaccine isn't much better.
If everything worked well, I think we're in the 4 to 5 year range before a vaccine could be licensed.
If that vaccine were licensed, it still wouldn't be 100% effective. That means the changes we'll make to protect ourselves from AIDS will be with us for the rest of our lives. One of the most controversial changes is the use of condoms. Critics say they give their users a false sense of security.
In homosexual anal penetration, condoms fail
I would say close to half the time. The idea of trusting condoms is absolute nonsense.
But others say that used correctly, condoms can lower the risk for gays and reduce the risk for heterosexuals by up to 99%. While condoms are better than nothing at all, the only way to avert an otherwise certain gay and heterosexual epidemic is to drastically change our sexual lifestyles.
We're not talking about reducing sex partners. We're talking about either saying no or exclusive sex partners.
That's the only protection.
Right now, that's it.
By exclusive sex partners, Osterholm means a return to single, monogamous relationships.
The question is, how do you convince any Minnesotan who's now having sex with more than one partner to make that kind of drastic change in his or her lifestyle? How do you convince that person that the threat of AIDS is enough of a reality to justify that kind of change? Well, experts say one way is to recommend that that person take the AIDS blood test.
Experts say that even if your blood test is negative, you'll still benefit. That's because you've made AIDS a reality in your own life. It took massive deaths to make AIDS real enough for homosexuals to begin to change their behavior. Now gays like Jim worry heterosexuals will make that same mistake.
I hope that people aren't going to wait till it gets to their door to open their eyes to see that it can come to their door, because it can.
Now, AIDS is a controversial topic. We've been accused of understating the effectiveness of condoms, and we've also been accused of overstating the need for monogamous relationships. With reference to condoms, the 50% failure rate you've heard is high, but it's an estimate that was repeated to us by several doctors at the University of Minnesota. And with reference to monogamy, our statement is the only way to protect yourself from AIDS is the stated policy of the Minnesota Department of Health. And Ruth, I think the controversy shows, Stan, that people are dealing with this issue, they're talking about it, they're grappling with it, and that's what we wanted them to do.
Yes, everywhere I've gone this week, it seems like stores, whatever, I've heard people talking about this series. So.
I think that people are realizing that it affects their life and that these are not theoretical issues. They will become part of all our lives, and that is not an easy thing to adjust to.
There's so many numbers being talked about. One is startling, that is the number of cases will double about every 13 months. It's here.
That is scary, and it's going to involve a lot more heterosexuals.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mike.
We have prepared this pamphlet for you, this one right here, for those of you who would like more information on AIDS or AIDS testing. You can pick it up free at your local Snyder drugstore, or if you prefer, we'll mail it to you if you send a self-addressed stamped envelope to AIDS, KSTP-TV News, 3415 University Avenue, St. Paul, 55114. And even though our special assignment on AIDS concludes tonight, the pamphlets will still be available as the KSTP station campaign on AIDS continues.
Federal workers are calling new guidelines for drug testing a, quote, comic exercise in tidy bowl justice, end quote. The guidelines include bathroom monitors and blue dye in toilets to prevent dilution of urine specimens, which federal union leaders have been quick to attack.
We expect to be able to urinate in privacy. This program doesn't allow us to urinate in privacy. It forces us to urinate in public.
Those guidelines are going to be used in the testing of workers in very sensitive federal jobs. Stan?
The Tower Commission was in the hospital today, literally. They're investigating the National Security Council's role in the Iranian arms sale, and they went to Bethesda Naval Hospital to question former National Security Advisor Robert McFarlane, who's recovering from a reported suicide attempt. No details were released, but McFarlane earlier said that President Reagan approved the arms shipment to Iran last August. In his first session with the commission, the president reportedly confirmed that, but after talks with Chief of Staff Regan, the president reportedly changed his story in his second meeting with the commission. Now, he's reportedly saying that he did not approve the sale in advance, a flip-flop Minnesota Senator Dave Dernberger does not buy.
I'm sure the president, if his first instinct was to say, yes, I gave a conditional okay back in August, he ought to stick with that instinct, because I think that's exactly what happened.
Neither the Tower Commission nor the White House would comment on the reports. Ruth?
And we have this note on the 1988 presidential race. New York Governor Mario Cuomo says he will not be a candidate for the Democratic nomination. Now, he had been mentioned as a possible candidate after that rousing speech at the '84 Democratic Convention, but he announced tonight he won't be. Dave Dahl has an early look at our Friday weather next Sunny Update.
All right, and a bit later we will hear from young Americans on their impressions of America.
Okay, salespeople, pay close attention. I want you to go eyeball to eyeball with every new car customer that walks into the showroom. Be polite, refined, courteous, gracious, genteel, obliging, polished, dignified, sincere, humble, modest, straighten your tie. Unpretentious, friendly, chummy, kindly, cordial, affectionate, not too affectionate. Willis, offer fantastic deals, fabulous, unbeatable, incredible, unheard of deals. Paying attention, Willis? We can't be beat. Every buyer drives out of here sporting a happy, joyous, smiling face. Why? Because we gave them absolutely, positively, undeniably, unequivocally, unconditionally, most definitely, without question, the lowest, the cheapest, least expensive, most economic bottom line price possible.
Maury's Mazda and Maury's Imports. Mazda, Saab, Alfa Romeo, Subaru. Better cars, better deals.
When you join MedCenter's health plan, MedCenters pays practically all your health care costs from the very first penny. While with regular health insurance, you'll probably have to pay the first $200. Every year. MedCenter's health plan, where everything's taken care of.
Last year, I proved how herbicides can affect yield potential. In 1986, I repeated my test. Precise data was kept on leading hybrids under early and late planting conditions. Plots treated with Lasso again showed less stress, greater shoot weight, and again yielded more than 6 extra bushels per acre. For the second straight year, Lasso made a real difference.
Lasso. Less stress, more yield.
The results don't surprise me. Consistency is always real evidence.
I hear some of you guys are gonna buy a new pickup. Ford Jones! Ford, sir! Nah! You Oklahoma? A Chevy? Ford. Chevy. Don't they teach them anything back home? Around here, it's the new full-size Dodge Ram 100. Priced almost $1,000 less than their full-size. Yes, sir? Dodge Ram 100. America's lowest price full-size pickup. So around here, it's Dodge Ram 100, sir!
At its low price at the Dodge Boys.
America's best back trucks are built Ram tough.
And now the latest installment of the Wacky Winter of '87.
Boy, it is.
Starring Dave Dahl.
You hit it right on. You hit it right on the head yesterday, Stan, when you said that winter up here in the upper Midwest is a spectator sport this year. It's actually, that's all it's been. We're watching winter go around us, and we're watching it again tonight, especially in the Southwest. They've had lots of snow. Amarillo, Texas is the latest installment to our watching the weather. There it is. They've had a lot, as much as 4 to 6 inches already fell. That caused a lot of traffic problems. Traveling is very difficult to treacherous down the southwestern corner of the country. They expect a surge of more snow, maybe 4 to 6 inches by later on tonight. They do have a winter storm warning across the Texas Panhandle from there into northeastern New Mexico, southern Colorado. Heavy snow warning up to 1 foot or 1.5 feet could fall in the northern mountains of Colorado. And then lesser amounts of snow wrap around that down far into the southwest, all the way down the southern part of New Mexico. That is a potent storm down there, but right now it looks like most of the energy is going to stay just to our south. Currently up here, none of that happening. It's a nice evening. Partly cloudy skies right now. The temperature's at 31, the dew point 18, relative humidity 58%. No wind out there. The air is calm, and the barometric pressure's on the rise at 30.36. Partly cloudy skies. Today's high temperature all the way up to 43. 15 above the average for the state, 20 this morning's low. We should go down just about to that figure again later on tonight. No snowfall officially. However, a few snow showers are popping up through central Minnesota. Highs today, what is mild up here, 40s and 30s across Minnesota, is cool down to the south. That's because of all the snow that's going on way down in the Texas and Oklahoma panhandles. Highs today only in the lower 30s. We were warmer with temperatures in the lower 40s right up here in southern Minnesota. Still warm down in the deep southeast. Temperatures today, 60s, even a few 70s. But there is a lot of energy down to our south. And look at the satellite loop, and you can see some of that storm getting together. There's a lot of moisture flowing into the south and southwest. Here's the next surge just now entering the southwestern Texas area there, and that'll push up into the Texas Panhandle, produce quite a bit of stormy weather down to our south, but it should stay just to our south. A few snow showers, though, have popped up through central Minnesota. The forecast map for tomorrow, then, shows us a little bit cooler than what we had today. There may be a few more clouds in the sky, maybe even a snow shower or two through the central part of the state overnight tonight, but most of that sloppy weather staying well to our south. Temperature right around 39 for a high tomorrow. The forecast in detail for the Twin Cities for tonight calls for a mostly cloudy sky, maybe a snow shower or two, 18 to 22. For overnight lows, light and variable winds. Most of those snow showers just north of us. Mostly cloudy skies by the morning, temperature near 21, but then those clouds thin out a little bit. Partly sunny skies, 36 to 41 for the afternoon highs, light and variable winds. For Friday night into Saturday, clouds up again. Increase in the cloud cover, lows in the upper teens, lower 20s, and on Saturday, mostly cloudy skies, 33 to 37. Looking ahead a little bit farther then. For Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, right now, it appears as though it's going to be partly cloudy, teens for lows and 30s for highs. That storm system that's out to the west looks like it's going to lose a lot of its energy before it ever arrives. So, once again, We're going to just watch everything miss us.
Sit there in the lawn chairs here in February in our backyards and watch winter go by elsewhere. Huh?
Nobody's complaining.
Having a good time.
This is plumb loco, isn't it? Crazy. Yeah. Okay, thanks, David. Still ahead, Anoka and Roseville battle tonight for a conference championship in high school hockey.
And the Gopher basketball team comes ever so close to an upset at Indiana. Joe Schmidt has those stories and more next on Eyewitness Sports.
Now save over $2,400 on the best quality, best-selling truck in North America. Ford and your Northland Ford dealers now offer 3.9% APR financing or up to $600 cash back on F-150 and 250 Ford pickups. And there's special value discounts of over $1,800 more. Together, you can save up to $2,421. And now, all Ford light trucks and vans are backed by a 6-year, 60,000-mile warranty. See your Twin Cities Northland Ford dealer today.
I've been paying out long enough. I found a way to get money back.
The Discover Card. Smart move.
A credit card that pays you money back on every purchase.
Choose it, use it, get away.
Money that adds up to a yearly cash bonus.
Get it back.
All from a card that costs nothing to get.
Smart move. The Discover Card.
Hey, nice trip. Nice card.
Look for more information in the mail or at Discover Card merchants.
So how's the future, Doctor?
And what I make? I might make medical school by the year 1999.
We'll work with you. I don't think it'll take that long.
And what, I got a rich uncle or something?
We'll do our best. Nope. Just a good bank. Norwest came through.
We know the way. We are Norwest.
It's going on through this Saturday, our President's Week sell-a-thon at Towsley Ford and Towsley Subaru. More cars and trucks than ever in our history. Almost 2,000 sell-a-thon price, probably more than any other dealer in the United States. Price is clearly marked so you can see the savings for yourself. Plus special low financing as low as 3.9 APR. And factory cash rebates on some models as much as $700. Follow the Searchlight every night till 10 through Saturday night to sell-a-thon savings at Towsley Ford and Towsley Subaru, White Bear Lake.
So, Joe tells me the Gophers almost did it.
Like Ralph Cramden used to say, one of these days,
Yeah.
Alice, I'll tell you, one of these days the Gopher basketball team is going to win a game like tonight, and that day may be sooner than we think. The Gophers proved their near upset of Purdue last week wasn't a fluke. They came close again tonight, this time on the road against second-ranked Indiana. A tough start for the Gophers. Indiana won the tip. The Gophers went a one way, and the Hoosiers went another way. Just like that, it was 2-0. But the early miscue didn't rattle the Gophers. Watch the effort inside here by Richard Coffey. Coffey was a demon on the boards in the first half. He finished with 13 points. The Gophers also got a strong game out of Kim Zerker. Here, Zerker threads the needle. Easy bucket for Calvin Smith. Still in the first half. This time it's Zerker again on the fast break. He'll pull up and can the jumper right there to give the Gophers a 34-32 lead. Indiana was up by 2 at the half, but the Gophers hung with the Hoosiers all night long. Here, Willie Burton feeds Jim Chickenjansky for the hoop down low, and the Gophers had a 2-point lead with less than 8 minutes to play. Darryl Thomas was the main man for Indiana tonight. Thomas finished with 24 points, 12 of those from the free throw line, but it almost wasn't enough. Down the stretch, Terrence Woods hit a three-pointer to give the Gophers a 64-63 lead. The teams traded buckets after that. Here's a big one for the Gophers. Kim Zerker will hit the jumper to tie the game at 71 minutes to play, but the Hoosiers managed to stay out of overtime. 3 seconds left. Dean Garrett was fouled. He scored twice from the free throw line, and that ended the Gophers' bid for an upset, but a whale of an effort by Minnesota tonight. Indiana wins by 2, 72-70. Elsewhere in the Big Ten, Michigan State over Northwestern. Number 5, Temple big over St. Bonnie's. Number 9, Syracuse over Providence. And Duke a winner over North Carolina State. The North Stars had a rough one tonight in St. Louis. The Stars had a chance to move into first place in the Norris Division, but no such luck. Not even close as the Blues buried the Stars 6-2. It was over early. The Blues scored 4 times in the first period. Greg Pawlowski here made it 1-0. He scored twice tonight. Still in the first period. Watch this. Where's the puck? It's right behind Tony Beaupre. Beaupre couldn't see it. Finally, it's knocked in by Cliff Ronning. That made it 3-0. St. Louis added one more before the period was over. Mark Hunter with the second goal of the night for him. If you're a North Star, This one was for the Birds. The Blues Brothers win it tonight by a score of 6-2. Elsewhere, the Rangers are losing to Chicago in the third, 5-2, and Pittsburgh and Philly tie at 4. High school hockey tonight. The showdown tonight in the North Suburban, where number 5 Anoka and number 8 Roseville went at it for the conference championship. Roseville had the home ice advantage, but Anoka goes home the winner. The final there, 6-4. Good game tonight in Roseville. Second period, they're tied at 2. John Manthe scores to give Anoka the lead at 3-2. Roseville came back to tie it in the third. That's Scott Marshall with a move down the slot. His goal made it 3-all, but that was the last ovation for Roseville tonight. A few minutes later, it's Jeff Brown for Anoka. Brown is going to knock in his own rebound for the game winner. Again, Anoka wins over Roseville 6-4. Elsewhere, Wayzata beat Edina by 2 goals. Apple Valley big over Southwest. South St. Paul over White Bear Lake. Irondale blanks Forest Lake. And Elk River a 3-1 winner over Mounds View. It's time to get the cobwebs off the bats and balls. Spring training is here. The pitchers and catchers reported to Twins camp in Orlando, Florida today. They'll have their first full workout tomorrow morning. A couple of the biggies, Bert Blyleven and Jeff Reardon, have been excused and will report next week. The first game in the Grapefruit League will be on March 7th against the Reds. Vita Blue won't be pitching against anybody this spring. Less than a month after signing on with the Oakland A's, Blue has decided to sign off and retire. This announcement comes one day before the A's were to open their training camp. Blue said he decided to quit the game while he's still in good health. Lance Parrish was all set to sign a healthy $1 million contract with the Philadelphia Phillies, but the Phils pulled the plug. The Phils pulled out when Parrish refused to agree not to sue Major League Baseball for collusion.
Collusion.
That's it. No one wanted to sign him.
Yeah. Let's bring on the boys of summer. Baseball.
That's right.
Yay.
Wow. All right, the AB series America provides a lot of food for thought, doesn't it?
And next up on the update, we're going to meet high school students who are watching and commenting on America.
Growing businesses are choosing Collins Communications.
It was pointed out to us that you can tell a Collins installation by just looking at it, that the quality of their work is evident by how it looks, and it's true.
Their expertise in the field of consulting and engineering can't be matched.
If I had to define Collins Communication in one word, the word would be competent.
Collins Communications for telephone systems, voicemail, data communications, installation, and service.
Only at your Greater Metropolitan Pontiac dealers. Cash back on GM's hottest-selling cars. Not just on a few models, but on Pontiac's entire lineup. Like our 1987 front-wheel drive Grand Am, the most distinctive of today's world-class drivers' cars. Make your best deal and get up to $600 cash back. Plus, save up to $325 more on options. Total savings, $925. With our cash back offer, you can buy or lease a new Grand Am without using $1 of your own money. See your Greater Metropolitan Pontiac dealers now.
Look to Northwest. We're working hard to give you all our best. Look to us, Northwest.
Northwest presents mini prices to many places. Mini prices to many places. Many more places than any other airline.
Northwest.
When you're budgeting for a corn and soybean herbicide, you need the best performance at the best cost. That herbicide is Dual. And this year, that excellent grass control will cost you less in most cases than ever before. Longer-lasting Dual. You already know it's the best performer in these rows. This year, we improved its performance in these rows. Ask your dealer about longer-lasting Dual. The best control now costs less.
High school students in a St. Louis Park Russian class have been watching the ABC miniseries America, the story of life in the U.S. under Soviet domination. Catherine Smith reports the students are now discussing whether it could ever actually happen.
For this class of juniors and seniors, suddenly primetime television has become homework. These students have been watching America, not simply as entertainment. They're watching to see if an American production can portray Soviets fairly. The reviews are mixed.
I think they're trying to portray it as they're not smart, they're going to start shooting when they get nervous.
Although there are myths about the Soviet Union, they do punish
people for standing up against him.
The miniseries shows us an America that's been peacefully taken over by the Soviets. Some of these students say that would never happen. They say we'd fight to keep our freedom. In fact, about 2/3 of them say they'd become resistance fighters.
Well, I guess it'd kind of be a losing cause because, well, I'd do it anyway just to take some of them down with you.
Maybe eventually I would be take on some kind of resistance, but to start with, I think it would be useless.
Most of these students say America has made them think of things they usually take for granted.
I usually don't give much thought to this kind of stuff at all, but when I was watching it the other night, you know, I kind of was getting into it because, you know, they had tanks crashing people's houses and they're killing little innocent kids. And for what?
Some of these students say they think the miniseries is one-sided, playing the Soviets as simple bad guys. But they admit it presents the United States in a vulnerable new light.
I think it shows that we could be taken over someday.
For the Eyewitness News Update, I'm Catherine Smith.
America continues tomorrow night right here on Channel 5. Dave Dahl continues right now.
Yeah, and the weather continues. It's not going to change much. We're going to have this nice weather continue. It looks like temperatures...